Welcome back, everyone, to the Complete Pineleaf, where we're back here near Minas Morgul, which is right up there with its beacon in search of probably us. And I am here with Faramir, who I'm sure has something to tell me.
When I was just a boy, my brother, Boromir, and I had the finest teachers in all of Gondor.
Our teachers told us tales of noble Elendil, wise Isildur, and bold Anarion, and our days were spent reenacting their most heroic deeds. But of all these tales, it was the fall of Minas Ithil to the Lord of the Nazgul that most moved my brother's heart. I can still hear his voice recounting it to me on stormy afternoons, Pineleaf. And though the tale is a sad one, the recollection is welcome to me. An army of orcs came into the gates, I can hear him say, but they were met by a hail of stones. The lord of the city, a great captain named Egomoth, sent out soldiers to sow confusion amongst the orcs and delay their plans. The Witch King himself sought to breach the gates, but could not. Years before, and the request of the King of Gondor, the wizard Cornur placed powerful enchantments upon them, and they held against the Witch King's evil sorceries. But Egomoth knew his men could not outlast the forces arrayed against them. At dawn, on the appointed day, he sounded his war horn and led his men on their mounts through the gates, forming a wedge to drive the nemesis to either side or trample them underfoot. They rode to the bridge, see the light in their faces as they approach, knowing freedom is near. But it was not to be so. For as they neared the Ithilien, the bridge sundered, its pieces fallen into the river. Egomoth could go no further, but he despaired not. He commanded his men to turn their backs to the raging river, and they charged once again straight towards the orc armies and their fell commanders. So died Egomoth. But the tales of Egomoth's onslaught fills our hearts with joy even today, for we know that he died in service of Gondor, and so we remember him. And I presume then this is the bridge in question? Yeah, it looks like somebody sundered it, all right. Faramir smiles, remembering his brother's love for the tale. Then he sighs wistfully and scuffs the stones with the toe of his boot. The Nazgul had weakened the supports of the bridge, so ensuring Egomoth could not escape that way. Boromir was always quick to point out that it was a strategy that they had learned from Isildur, for the son of Elendil had used the very same tactic against them when they first escaped Minas Ithil. Theirs was not a mindless evil, Pineleaf. Let us be glad that they are gone. Yes, the Nazgul are slain with Sauron, but others might still work his evil within the dead city. South of here, the road climbs up to Minas Morgul. Go there and learn what you can of the situation inside. Defeat whatever foes you find there in memory of the hero Egomoth, and in memory of my brother too. So I need to find main entrance to the Sea of Minas Morgul and defeat foes within Minas Morgul. Now, I am going to put a pin on that until I have gone to some other locations and taken care of the stuff outside of Minas Morgul. Then we can go inside and get to that story in earnest. Now, one of the things that we'd be looking for around here are these seals that are all over the place. You stumble across strange seals bearing a mark of war, the seal of Kolos Mazog. How it was placed here remains a mystery. It seems the stone seal was once set in something, Perhaps an answer lies within the Dead Sea of Venus Morgul. So I'm going to have to collect a few of these on the outside here, and usually I have to go searching for those all over the place. I didn't realize that I was going to stumble right into that. But for now, I've got a little bit more flowers to destroy, and then I'll be able to return back to base. Well, I don't have anyone to speak with here at the camp yet. There is another orc corpse here that I've not checked out yet. So let's see what's going on here. Footprints lead away from this recently slain orc. Well, as close as this is to our camp, I would think that one of the rangers would have killed it, right? I mean, if it was one of the rangers, though, I would think the footprints would be leading out into a different direction. I mean, there'd be certainly nothing wrong with a ranger killing an orc that was trespassing so close to our camp. The trail leads further into the shadowy hills. Well then, into the shadowy hills where we will find another set of footprints. Onward! Onward. Alright, I can see them. Alright, I can see the sparklies that says there is a footprint. And we also see some vapors. They'll give me the vapors, I'm sure, that if I decided to let them live long enough in order to do harm to me. So deal with that. And now we continue along our path until we find whatever is at the end of this. The trail end leads to a group of gruesome Caregrim. Ah, alright. So, this is one of those cases where I think the enemy of our enemy is not necessarily our friend. Just saying. Hey, 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 hey. There you go, and there you go. Where were we? While I have something that can finally be presented to a quest giver, I do want to finish searching the river here as soon as I avoid all of these bats here that are making a bit of noise. So now let's head on down this way. Here's the river. Ah, a nice place in which to do some I have a feeling this is not particularly clean water if we've got these dark waters here, right? Well, we'll find out. Someone watches you as you examine the corrosive and vile waters. Aha! So that dark water may have some connection on what's going on in here? It sounds like to me that we need to speak with some people. Oh. Hold on. Hello? A river spirit.
What interest have you with this river? Speak now.
A river spirit.
You are the first I have met who wishes to seek a cure for my river.
Yes, I am the keeper of these waters, or I once was. That was long ago, when I was known as the Ithudwin. Now I am but a prisoner of the Witch King, and endless tears of agony befoul the waters that I love. It is not physically that I stand before you. My appearance here is only a creation of your mind. This projection of my thoughts has stolen the full extent of my power. Can you assist in my escape from the watery prison of Ithilwar? First, you must collect the urns of pure water that remain hidden in Rothduat. They will break the wards that prohibit my escape. They are located at one end of the bridge of Ithogwar. Please hurry. So I need to retrieve the urn from the hills of eastern Rothduat, retrieve the urn from the outside of the barrows of Gorthod Nur, and complete dwelling in the hills. Okay. Complete dwelling in the hills. Right. Let's see if we can find the pure water that goes this way. A nice little valley, isn't it? Dwelling in the hills. To your surprise, you spy a small cabin precariously resting in the hills in the Morgul Vale. Oh, you mean that cabin right over there? It looks as if the cabin is occupied by a family, but it is not strange. Men have not lived in the Morgul Vale for many years. Perhaps it's worth investigating this ramshackle cabin and those who dwell there. As soon as I take care of this goat. Dwelling in the hills, complete, rot for the fire, and questionable meat. A questionable meal. And unfortunately, I think one of the things that are part of the questionable meal is goats like the one I just killed. So it's rather poor timing in killing that thing. So I will remove that, and I will remove that since we've got our quest givers right over here. Look at there, a nice strange family, right? Her hairline seemed to have changed there. Yeah, her hairline changes depending on which angle you're at. They're very suspicious now, aren't they? Hello. You greet the man and ask for his name. He doesn't answer your question at first, and neither does he look you in the eye. When he does, at last speak, "Wouldst thou care to assist my family, traveler? The gale coming off yonder peak chills us to the bones. A fire might stave off the chill. Yen could be tended with some of the wood that lies aground, waiting to be plucked. What sayest thou?" He speaks in an old Westron accent. Alright. And what does the woman say? The woman with the changing hairline. Oh, her hairline seems to be stable now. Oh, no. Oh, it's only at this angle where her hairline is strange. She looks like she's pulling down a cap over her head sometimes. You greet the woman and ask her for her name. She does not answer your question, nor does she look you in the eye when she finally speaks. My family becomes more famished with every day that passes. The meat of the bats and crawlers of this land could sustain us. Wilt thou help us stave off hunger a while longer? So, we want from the bats and crawlers. Okay, not the goats. I guess I assumed that the goats would be part of the questionable meal, but apparently not. It was a questionable idea that I had. Well, don't worry. We can take care of crawlers readily enough. Spider and insect slayer of Imlad Morgul. Wonderful! Well, there'll be plenty of spiders in Imlad Morgul if this includes Kirathungul, right? Oh boy! Will there be plenty if it includes Kirathungul. I mean, it'll make... Yeah. It'll make us wish we were back into Klingris or something like that. Okay, maybe nothing will make you want to wish that you're back at Klingris. Hello! Time for Din Din! Maybe I could find something more wholesome for them. Anything. Anything other than crawlers and bats. I believe that the firewood is on the other side of this ephemeral bridge, I guess, compared to some of the other things we see in this area. I doubt the bridge is going to last all that long. Well, that's one branch. And we need to find 10 of these things? All over the place. Oh, in the meantime, we're still looking for bats for food. Well, that couple is at least. Weird couple. Very weird couple. I have finished finding the branches. You hand the man the wood for which he asked. Thou hast done what thou must. When thy task is finished, wilt thou also aid my child? Alright. And also for the woman. Your uncertainty unhand the woman the troubling meats for which she asked. Thou hast done what thou must. When thy task is finished, wilt thou also aid my child? They're not exactly original in what they say, aren't they? Alright? And what does the child say? Probably the same thing as his parents, right? The child looks around slowly before clearing his throat, as if he has uttered not a word in years. My doll. I must have my doll returned. It is all I have. Where could it be? Find it, please. Find the child's doll. Okay. I will find the doll. Okay, let's see. Well, we'll have it this way. If it turns out to be a funeral, I am not going to be happy. And I hope that the dire horn hasn't eaten the doll either. Right. Okay, now let's get back up here. Speaking of funerals, yeah, we've got these things all over the place over here. I have to deal with a few of these also, apparently, while I'm going all over the place. I'm sure, though, if I look for a doll in this area, that thing will just start spitting out spew. Oh, hold on. Hey, can I get the doll without... Here we go. The toy crumbles to dust in your hand. Within it lies a medallion of Sauron. Oh. Well, I suppose that any group that lives in this area, your vision is now clear and you see no dwelling at all. Instead I see 3 fell spirits. Well, that at least is consistent with what I would expect in this area. Right? Yeah. So, no, nothing at all. Let's go and clear this place of spirits then. Weirdest quest givers ever. Defeat treacherous spirits. 1, 2. But there are 3 to kill. I only have to kill 2 out of the 3, right? You have overcome the deception of the spirits housed within the forgotten watching stone. Their purpose remains unknown to you, but you feel certain you must not underestimate the malice of this place. Right. Oh, and the urn. And retrieve the urn from outside the net, and I have one more urn to get, but I think I want to turn in the quest from the Grim Veil first. Then I'll worry about the other urn. I have finished investigating the veil.
Let us not tarry.
Caragrim, you say? I have heard only tales of these beasts, but they sound vicious and unpleasant. Oh yes, I've run into plenty of them, unfortunately. I'm thankful that you were able to fend them off, but that is not the end of it. Now we must devise some course of action to deal with these Caragrim. The safety of our outpost is at stake. Well, there is that.
Will you hear my plight?
The Caragrim must congregate somewhere in the Morgul Vale, but where? What if they gather in that old Gondorian burial house that our scouts spotted when they entered the valley? I shiver at the thought of these beasts feeding on the dead, but there's likely to be many good men laid to rest in those old crypts, and the Krailgrim would not respect their sanctity as we would. You should head towards the carnal houses and defeat as many Kergrim as you find in the way. I will join you when I can, so I need to go to Daru Lugurs and defeat Kergrim. And I think that the other urn is in that direction, which is why I decided to stop by here first. But I think that's it for today's episode, and we return next time. We are going to go Kergrim hunting here in the complete Pineleaf.